Um, Hello everybody. I'm here to teach you how to do a work cycle with Rain. So this is the character I'll be using. It's called Rain. You can actually get it. I'll put the link in the description. You can get it from Blender Cloud Store. So um, this is the character I'll be using. For now, we'll not deal with this. So I think let's remove this and the ponytail. I think okay. So you press N. So that's air pony. You can just change it to 0. Then you can see it off. Then the S strand, you can change it to 0. Then the scarf also. I don't think we need it for now. So let's just set it up. Then this and let's make use of FK. That's forward kinematic. So for you to convert it, just go to this FK switch. Then just press this button. Now switch this to FK. And press this button to switch this to FK. And press N again to hide this. So I want to advise before any animation you want to do, make sure you plan your animation. Make sure you check references online. So I think these are some of the references I'm going to make use of in this tutorial. So we can see the contact, the low, the passing, the high contact again. So I think this will just be a normal vanilla work. So these are references you can actually make use of. Go through Google, then just search work cycle reference. You see many references online. So from here now, let's go to animation. So although we don't need this, so let's change this on to 25. So you expand this because we only be working with this area. So going to the first pose now. Looking at our reference here. So the first pose is this front leg extended, this one bent a little bit. You can see the toe now is up and this one is down. So let's copy this exact same pose to our blender now. So you can use your 1 to switch to front, then 3 to side. So let's create another window for our side view, vertical. So let this one be of a normal perspective view, and I'm picking this. So again, I want us to on move and rotate. So before we extend the leg, let's move the hips down a little bit. So just move it down a little bit. Then you take one leg forward, then you rotate it. So for now, instead of dealing with local, let's just move to global. So our animation will be easy. So we can just do stuff like this. Then take this back. Make sure you don't extend this back leg too much, because these are some of the things that actually cause new pop for you. Although no matter how you animate, you still have to fix some new pop somewhere somehow. So for this one now, you use that's new row, and just use your X axis to rotate this up a little bit. I think we can still move this back. You can still move it back a little bit. Then I think okay. You don't want to bend it too much. So I think our first post is good. So you can just press A, then press I, then use your location rotation and scale. Although we're not scaling anything now, but you can still use our location rotation and scale. Or if you want to make this selection permanent, you can just come here and choose your lock rows and scale. Then that means everything has been keyed. So we'll move to the fourth one. So these are contact pose at 1. Then we can actually do the opposite at 12, at 13, based on we're animating on 12. So we can actually do the next one on at 13. So we can copy. Blender actually makes it very easy for you to copy and paste. So you can actually copy this pose. You just make sure you select all with A. Then you press copy. Then you go to 13. And you paste flip here so that this back leg is now transferred to the front and this front leg is transferred to the back. So shortcut is Control Shift V. So after doing that, then press I. So instead of pressing I, we can actually just turn on our auto keyframe. So every time I move a control, we don't have to press I every time. So after doing this, you can see it's sliding from 1 to 4. But don't worry. All what we need when your post is sliding, sometimes it's the timing, or you just need to add breakdowns. So one of our breakdown, which this one now they call the down pose now, which means checking our reference, you notice that okay, the hips is down a little bit, the hips is down, and this back leg is more extended backward, and this one is already down, moving forward a little bit. So let's just copy the same thing. So here now, just press Alt R to cancel the rotation. I'll zoom in and make sure it's actually on the ground. And we can see this new row. It's the sole of the feet is going up. So I think this should be the issue. Just press Alt R so everything will go down. So we'll move this back. Move this back a little bit. Then for this one, we cancel the foot row. So look at this feet. So you just press Alt R to change the rotation. That's for this one. Let's press Alt R. So then we'll move it back a little bit. Then we'll increase the foot row. Looking at the reference, you can see the foot row has includes some rotation. So let's just rotate it more. So then we'll move it back. Move the feet back a little bit. Then we need to move this main control down. So using the arrow key to switch from that's the first keyframe to the second, you notice the difference. So as we can see, frame 1, how this back leg is. Then frame 2, we can actually still bend it a little bit. So I don't know what used to introduce those glitches you're saying, but let's just work with it like that. Can I also move this front leg back a little bit? I think it should be okay. That should be okay. Let's just move it back a little bit. So that was our down pose. So the next pose we'll be dealing with, it's called our let's check our reference. It's called our passing position. That's passing pose. So this leg, the leg going forward will be up already, and this front leg will slide back more, just like almost that's to balance the character. So it's directly or almost pass under the body. So let's just do the same thing here. So for this leg moving backward, let's take it back a little bit. Let's move it back a little bit. So and this leg, the second leg is up. Then we'll rotate because In case there's any foot roll, let's Alt R to cancel the foot roll. Then we'll rotate this one. We want to show sign of drag in the leg. And then our X rotation, we can actually bend the toe back more. Then this glitch, okay. So this foot roll, let's cancel the foot roll for now. Like no foot roll. So to just remove this glitch, you can just move your feet front and move it back a little bit. So the hips will go up more than the down pose. So we can see it's actually using balance. So let's move this foot back a little bit so that it will be directly under the body. So switching again between our pose, is our down pose and our contact, down pose, then the passing position. Then let's go to our up position now. Now we can actually introduce more foot roll here. Then make sure this one is a little bit higher than the passing position. Then you can actually move this front a little bit. So now switching between our main poses now, that's contact, down pose, up pose, then passing position, then the up pose, then the contact again. So you can see how this one is working now. So before we copy and paste, that's copy the inverse to the frame after 13. We need to do more adjustment. We can include the rotations on the hip and the main control. So first to introduce these rotations, we can actually, okay, let's deal with our, okay, notice that this rotation is not the same with that of Gimba. So if you press your N, if you try to adjust this should be your Y axis. But when you try to adjust this rotation, it may actually show on another axis here based on this global. But if you want your rotation here to be the same as that one at your transform, then you need to change this onto Gimba, that's Gimba location, rotation. Then you can see now it has changed. This one is formerly Y axis, now it's Z axis. So once you introduce any changes here, notice that it has actually been changed on your Y axis. So then on your X axis, you introduce just, it will only affect this one. But if you are in global, the reason why we make use of global, sometimes it's actually very easy to animate when you are using your global axis, but sometimes it's good to make use of your gimbal. So that's actually one of the differences between your global and your gimbal axis. That's gimbal rotation. So to introduce our rotation now, that's once at our that's passing position, which is frame 7. Once this hip to be highest, that's this side, this leg touching ground, it should be the highest. Then this other hips down, that should be the lowest. So if you check real life footage, and although it's actually not included because we're following 2D references here. So if you check 3D references, you notice that the other leg is actually, this leg is, the hips here is more down and this one is higher. So we're going to do the same here. So by rotating this hip, then we rotate it up a little bit. So that on getting to that's frame 7, this hip is higher. You can actually, I love to do stuff like to exaggerate based on, you can actually turn it down as time goes on. But we don't want this leg to be too stretched. So let's reduce it a little bit. So let's just make use of minus 10. That's minus 10. Oh, sorry, we are not in. So Gimba. So that's our y our z axis. So let's just make it okay minus 10. So I think minus 10 is cool. So that's gets the is there. So looking at our graph editor, you can actually slow things down or increase there. So given that these are y axis, our our z axis here, so we can just set a keyframe as choose your z axis. So if you want to only effect um, changes on your z-axis, you can just go to your view, then make sure this one is selected. So you can only deal with this axis, this rotation, this particular selection. So we want to add that's a keyframe on 4. That's only on selected, and add on 10 also. Then we can actually move it down so it favors this position. That's the highest position on the passing position. So that's after that. Let's move to our X rotation. That's this X rotation. So moving to our X rotation now, which is this. Um, on it going down, we can actually make the hips go down more. Then let's check your X rotation. Where is okay our X rotation? Then when it's going up at frame 10, you make it go up more. So looking at this now, we can actually beautify our curves if you want to. Then for which other axis again? For our y axis now, the rotation, you try to favor the front leg. Favor the front leg, like at frame 1. We can okay. This is the front leg now. Try to favor it as make the hips favor the front leg by rotating it more to the front. So it favors the front leg. I think it's too much. You can see this. So we can actually rotate it back a little bit. So given that this now, then let's go to our Y, that's our Y rotation. Then we can copy this and paste here, or we can mirror, there's a mirror, and value over 0. So it's actually opposite. So we can make this as frame 10 to favor this previous one. Then these also favors previous one. We can actually delete this key. So that's it for the X rotation. You do the X rotation, then the Y and the Z. So moving to the master control now. Moving to the master control, we need to do the X translation. So we want to make sure that we can actually take this color away by going to view. Oh yeah, show group color. Then just that's uncheck it. So now for the X translation, now we want to make sure that at our passing position, it favors this leg in such a way that it actually helps to create balance. Your hips shouldn't rest on this leg that's already up. It should rest on the one that's down. So you try to move it to the side a little bit. So press F to frame this. So if you like, you can actually use the favor, set the key at 4 and 10, then favor the hips, but anyhow you want it. So your favor will actually later determine how your final looks will look like. So let's go back to our timeline. timeline. So that's, we can notice that it's actually working. So let's now do the copying and pasting. So for the legs, let's select this rotation. Then make sure you select the pole vector also. And after selecting them, let's just highlight all, and you set a keyframe on all the frame. That's all the frames you're dealing with. And make sure you set a keyframe on them. Then let's go back and select the back row, then the front row, then the linear row. And on selecting, you can just go to your frame 1, you can just click copy, and go to frame 25, because these will be a circle. So we want our frame 1 to be the same as our frame 25. So after pressing copy, then you press paste. So our frame 4, you can just press copy, then we'll do inverse on frame 16. That's paste fill. Then on frame 7, you copy. Then on frame 19, you paste flip. On frame 10, which is our oppose, copy, and go to 22 and press paste flip. So after doing this, our leg is set. Then we can now move to our hips and our general control, our master control. So dealing with the hip now, we notice that sometimes we can just copy and paste that the inverse here, because sometimes they're the same, like on our y our x-axis. On our x-axis, it's same on both sides, but on our y-axis, it's opposite. So let's go to our graph editor and do the copy there. So go to so I think we have nothing on x location, then also location we only do with rotation. So then frame, then you can just go, select all, that's starting from here. So this is same as copy and paste. Then this from here to here, let's copy. Then you go to 16, then paste. So it's same. So go to our Y. So copy the first one, which is Control C. Then go to this place and paste. And copy all these keys. Then Control. So here you have to copy these and put on 16. You can actually put it directly. Copy. Then on 19. Then this copy. Then on 22. Then for our y-axis, as you frame all. Then here on our y-axis, we want it to be opposite here. So you can just copy this first and paste on 25. Then you copy that's frame 4 to 10. Copy, then you go to 16, then you paste, then you right click the mirror value over value. You should actually give it the inverse, so that when this leg is that's on ground, the hips will actually favor the side. So playing this now, we can see there's actually a difference now. So after doing this, then let's move to our master control. That's, we're dealing with translation, which is our Y translation, frame hole. So our Y translation, they are the same on both sides. So let's copy this and paste, and just copy this one, which is Ctrl C, and go to your 16 and paste. So they're the same thing. So which other one are we forgetting? Okay, our X location also, You copy this, then you paste. Then you notice this should be inverse. That's copy and paste. Sorry, then mirror value by value. So we can actually adjust these keys. So the reason why we actually flipped here is because you're favoring this the leg that's down. You're pushing it so that it's balanced on this leg here. So an opposite will case be on the other side, which is on frame 19. It will actually balance on the other leg. That's why we actually flipped it. So I think we are done with the rotations now. So here, um, so we are done with the rotations now. We can now start to clean the 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 lower part of the body. We can start from the um we can start from the main, that's the main control. So we'll start from X. Looking at this, is there, so before we continue, let us create a circle with the curves here. So you can just go back to your view and you make sure these two are not checked. So you can select all. Then you go to your channel, or you press Shift E. Then you make it cyclic. So after making it cyclic, you can now go to each of this and then go back to your view. So we don't see all those curves that are not needed. So you go to X, you know, we look at the parts of your curves. Do we need to adjust them or not? I think this one is cool. Then move to the next one. I think this one is cool. Also, the curve is continuous. There's no break. So here, there's nothing on this curve. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. I think that's all for this one. So move to this hip control. So I think we only do with rotation. So check our, you can see this line is not continuous here. So you can adjust. Can you see now you can adjust to make it continuous. So I'll move to the next one. I think this one is cool. I think it's continuous, it's cool. And we'll move to the next one, which is our Z rotation. I think this one is also cool. Then after this now, hey, there's something I want to do. Let's go back to our timeline. We want to make sure that at frame at frame at frame 2, this leg is already down. So it helps us to show weight in our animation. So you press Alt R, and you can actually lift the toe up a little bit. Then at the next frame, it will be the toe will be down already. So just press Alt R. So we'll do the same for the opposite leg at frame 14. That's it has already gone down, but the toe is still up. Then at frame 15, we cancel the rotation. So you can see now that our work cycle is already looking good. So let's try to clean our leg. That's a little bit. So clean our leg up now. Let's go to our graph editor. Oh, sorry. Let's go to our graph editor. Let's move this up a little bit. So let's start with is there any X look movement? No, it's just straight. But we can actually introduce some movement on the that's X rotation. So there's none for now. So for the Y movement, which is the up and down, I think it's cool also. Then you can just delete this key. So for Y, for Z now, from as from one from frame one from frame 1 to 16, the feet is down. So instead of um, giving a gap which can actually cause knee pop, you only need to select. Uh, then you go to undo free. Then you click this. Then you go to vector. You want to make it straight. So that there's a constant movement from 1 to 16 because it's on the ground. So looking at it here, it's on the ground. So but starting from 16, it started going up. So we want it to be a constant movement. So checking our X, press F to frame our X location. Here we may actually want to introduce some movement. That's are we okay? Do we need to introduce any movement? I don't think so. So I think this one is cool. So go to our Y axis, our Y rotation. So I don't. Do we need to introduce any movement? So we can do it in such a way that yeah, when it's about to go up, introduce some movement in such a way that the leg actually faces this side more. So you just do something like this. So we can see that. So let's cancel this keyframe. So we can see the leg will bend when it's about to go up. Can still introduce a little bit bend here. Okay, that's on our Z axis. So but here it's Y. So to check the movement, you can actually see it here. So but we don't want it to change over one frame. So let's just delete this frame. So I think we're done with this foot. So let's go to the next one. Let's go to um your your Y axis and press F to frame. So do we need to do anything? I don't think so. I think the Y is the up movement, up and down. So what about our Z? That's, yeah, I think we need to do some changes there. So for this one, it's actually different here because 1 to 4, because 1 to 4, that's it's on the ground. So for here, we can just change this to be, we need to go to free first, then we pick this undo, then we use vector We want it to be constant movement from here to here, and make this look good also. Then from 16 or from 13, yeah, from 13 to 25, it's on the ground. So let's just delete this keys, then select this two, then give them free, then select the handles, then you go to vector and make them free. So try to make sure that these 2 points look continuous. If not, there will be some form of sliding. Make sure it's a straight line, it's continuous. So let us play our animation now. You can see it's looking good. You can see the leg is looking better.